Share information about rocks. So let's get this going.
I'm always happy to share information. I oftentimes share too much information because it's definitely a hyperfixation passion of mine. Has been for about 20 years.
Well, this would be the platform to share extra information.
Sweet.
I am Trevor Stewart 1308, and we are here on assignment at Minerals and Mystics, and please introduce yourself.
I'm Leah Williams. I'm the owner of Minerals and Mystics. That's more.
Well, let's start with what got you into owning a rock store?
Oh gosh, that is a story. Of all things, unbelievably, about 20 years ago, I applied for my first job out of high school. And some will say, Kathy said I was very persistent about getting hired to work at the Crystal Connection. And I was just like, whatever you want me to do, I'm there. I want to work here. I love this place. Let me in. And I was originally hired as a temporary help to polish and clean jewelry. That was my job. And then, like a couple months in, their main salesperson kind of disappeared and left for a while, and they were left shorthanded for that Christmas season, and they said, okay, by the end of that Christmas season, they're like, you're not going anywhere. We're keeping you.
Was that the Christmas season I came in looking for a black pearl ring?
I don't know. It would have been 2004.
No.
Yeah, a long time ago.
2004, I was looking for, that would have been... I would have been looking for strings of pearls.
Oh, yeah. Back then we would have had them, too.
Yes,
we don't have nearly as many pearls as we used to. Yeah.
Crystal Connection, for those of us who have been civilians or sea villains for a long time, Crystal Connection was one of the main places that we would go to, restock on crystals, various spell needs, wonderful clothing,
oh yeah,
incense, all kinds of things. So it is understandable how you went from Crystal Connection to Minerals and Mystics.
So I worked for Kathy for almost 20 years. I worked for her for about 17. In the year of 2020, she and I had already been talking quite a bit about what the next stages were for her. After she lost her husband, Jim, we'd already started talking of like what was the next procession, how were we going to transition. And when she was ready to retire, there was a plan that I would buy the store and take over.
Okay.
And so in 2020, when the world blew up, a lot of things changed. It was really difficult for her to get in. She wasn't sure what to do each day. You really had to be boots on the ground during all of 2020 to know okay, what am I allowed to do in the business? What am I
Right.
not allowed to do? What do we need to do? What do our customers want?
Right.
And so our customers asked us to close for safety reasons during the height of that initial shutdown. And we did.
Of course, it was the best thing for everybody, even if it was rough for businesses.
It was tough.
Social responsibility.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, our customers tend to be more socially conscious people in general, which
Very
I absolutely
much.
love. So we had the wonderful support of those 20 plus years of people just
And you knew they would
dedicated
come
to us.
back to
They would
wherever,
come back.
right?
Yeah.
You know.
So
I mean,
during
it took me an awful long time to wander back in.
Welcome
but
back.
I'm back.
Welcome back. We're glad
Thank
you're here. So in that time frame, that was a great time for Kathy and I, while we were closed, to come up with what the plan was and how we were going to transition.
Okay.
And so when we fully reopened, it was August of 2020, we fully reopened, and we reopened as Minerals and Mystics
Okay.
at that time. So,
And that was when you...
and we were still at the old location at that time.
And then
So-
after that was when you moved over here to this
Yeah.
much more open, and oh my goodness, are those snacks and coffee?
It sure is. We now have the Witch's Kitchen. She's joined us. She's here Saturday through Tuesday. During the store hours, she's here, and also does catering and stuff on the side. But she's fantastic.
Also does catering and stuff on the side. What a brilliant business model.
Oh, I love it. You gotta have fuel to shop.
Wow.
Sugar and coffee.
Sugar and coffee, that is exactly right. And we will be sampling some of that later.
Excellent. Good. We can meet her. She's here today too.
So, we were when I came out of the restroom, and you were talking about. Well, okay, so I'd been thinking about what questions I wanted to ask,
Excellent.
and one of the questions I wanted to ask was, what is one large misconception you would like to clear up?
Ooh. So there's a lot in this industry, which is really interesting. So I've been involved for it, 20 years now. It's been a long time. I've watched a lot of trends, a lot of changes. And one of the big things is that people think there's one right way to do crystal healing, to do witchcraft, to do spell work, to do energy healing. And there is no one right way to do any of that stuff. One of our biggest policies here, and one of the things we encourage for everyone, is it's really about knowing yourself and the journey you're taking with yourself. So we want people to follow their own instincts and
Okay.
what they think is right for them. Is kind of our modus operandi, if you will. Like, we want you to listen. So I can tell you...
Intuitive spiritualism, much like
Yes.
intuitive eating. Listen
Yeah.
to what your body and your spirit need.
Exactly. So I could tell you rose quartz is it's best known to be a stone of self-love and relationships and things like that. But if that's not what you're feeling for that stone, go with your instinct. Go with what feels right for you. And that's in all areas of the metaphysical, crystal healing, all of that work. It's more about your relationship with yourself and your spirit than what anyone else can tell you.
Some of the wisest words I've heard in a long, long time.
Thank you.
What I was angling for there was the Voldemite-Moldavite debate here.
Right. What we were just talking about with Moldavite, there'd been, when you guys had met Noel at Fae Fest, there'd been a misunderstanding of the words.
I am quite dyslexic.
I completely understand. We are dyslexic around here. We're also mostly all neurodiverse here at the store, so auditory processing is a fun thing.
We love Neurospicy.
Oh, yeah.
Neurospicy is a major part of not only our audience, but us.
Right? Yeah. It's one of the things that I love about Minerals and Mystics in particular is the goal is to be an inclusive place for all those people who are kind of on the fringe. The people who don't feel like they fit in anywhere else or have conversations that feel weird or not normal. We want that to just join us. Be weird and normal with us. Like, we are weird. We like to talk about weird things. We love conversations. I love the Voldemort. I was just saying, I was like, in a lot of ways, Moldavite has kind of become a Voldemite stone, if you will.
Well, how is that? Like, that sounded really, when I came out, that sounded really interesting, and I wanted to make sure I caught that.
Yeah.
Why is Moldavite becoming the nameless, the stone we must not name?
So in a lot of circles, there's this fear surrounding Moldavite now. Back in early 2020, before the world exploded, there was a viral TikTok video that went around, and then it's been shared millions of times over, about a woman who had gotten this piece of Moldavite, and it changed her life in the bad way. Like, she got into a car wreck, her boyfriend died, and all these things that were terrible that happened to her that she associated with Moldavite. Now, Moldavite is a stone of transformation and change, but it is going to be the stone of transformation and change for your best, highest good. So everyone thinks that Moldavite's going to, like, wreck their lives now, and so a lot of people are afraid of it. But it's just a really powerful change stone, and people are just afraid of change.
The death card of the rock world?
Yes. That's a great way to put it. It is the death card.
It is not the hanging man or the tower.
Right. It is not the end of the world. It
is just a change.
Yeah. And people are scared of change.
I mean, that is understandable.
Yeah.
Change can be very frightening. However, I've gotten used to it, so.
I mean, myself, I worked with Moldavite for a long time. When I was drawn to it, when you're drawn to Moldavite, it's one of those stones. If you're drawn to it, you should definitely investigate it, see if it's a stone for you. If you need it and you go, ugh, I don't like it, it's not time yet. But when I started working with Moldavite, my life changed really rapidly. I ended up a single mom pretty quick afterwards. And it's not because Moldavite's terrible and it ruined my life.
No, but it opened up an opportunity.
It ended. Wow. It helped me to end a relationship that wasn't healthy for me.
Right.
And to move to my next stage of spiritual growth.
And to say that it did it takes a lot of the agency away from you, where the real magic happens in the action of the individual. One of the first rules I ever learned was act in accordance.
I like that, yeah.
And I realized that by acting in accordance, I was making magic. So by acting in accordance with my spirit and what just making things happen in a more resonant way.
That's a great way to put that.
Thank you.
I think one of the big reasons we've seen a huge resurgence of crystal healing and energy healing in this trend, a lot of people, it's just another fad and that crystals are going to go away. But I think especially in 2020, we saw a bunch of people discover the way that we live our lives in the U.S. is not so helpful for our spirits.
No.
And so a lot of people found themselves learning and transforming during that time and really changing their lives, which is why Moldavite became so popular during that time of transformation. There was this coordination of it's time to start really opening our spirit and start changing into the way that we need to be. A lot of people left jobs that they'd been in, the traditional 9-to-5, to start their own businesses. They found their own artistry. They've, this boom of creative content online that people are just going off and doing their own thing now. Like, people are creating for the world again, in a big way. And I think it's headed in a good direction.
I think that is that is a wonderful thing. And that is, I do like the, the analogy with the Moldavite and the change through the plague.
Yeah, the plague.
The plague. Yes, as the Icentherians call it. We stopped by and got an interview with the Icenthir 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, had a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I was here in store during FayFest, so
yes.
You got to meet my counterpart and my coworker at the FayFest.
They were very helpful. It was a delight to meet them. And we have actually some wonderful Moldavite on display here.
There is, and my case is kind of a mess at the moment. I'm sorry. But we do have some Moldavite. I don't carry nearly what I used to. This whole front case used to be all Moldavite. But with the popularity of Moldavite, with this huge surgence in a time period where Moldavite wasn't easily accessible, it became extremely expensive. So there was this big jump in price. It's starting to mellow out a little bit.
Okay.
But we also see a whole lot of fakes on the market now, so I'm really,
I
really
could see
picky.
that. I could see that. I could see how that would be a fakeable stone.
Yeah, I'm really, really picky about who I source from, especially with stones that are more likely to be faked, like moldavite. I definitely with crystals, I recommend to everybody, and this is not just my shop in general, go into a shop, go to a store, meet people, touch the crystals. Like, I love the idea of shopping online. It's easy, it's quick, but you got to put your hands on stuff.
Yes.
You got to know.
I do find myself buying a lot of raw crystals online, but I also tumble them, perform lapidary, and set them in my own jewelry. So it's I'm putting my hands on them and putting my energy in them.
Yeah, you're getting to know them really well.
So it's a little less.
Raw stones are a little harder to fake, depending on the type of stone it is, too.
Yeah.
They make some really great man-made stones, but oftentimes they're going to be in a form that doesn't show in that kind of raw form. Right. So when you find in your polished spheres and your points and jewelry,
the man-made stones are often going to be, at least I've noticed with some of the opal, the man-made opal is almost as expensive as the other opal because the process to make it is so intensive.
Yeah.
However, the man-made opal is really amazing looking.
They can really do incredible things with science. I appreciate natural, but I also can really appreciate what science can make.
Science? We are both very spiritual slash religious here, but also very scientific.
Nice.
I consider myself an amateur mathematician and physicist.
Love it.
And I like to keep up with chemistry.
Nice. We agree the two things are not mutually exclusive. Science and magic,
Not even a little.
Everything that used to be magic, or everything that's now science used to be magic.
Right, and a lot of what is still science is still magic, because
in a lot of ways.
You get down to, you're looking at some of these things, and it's just magic that it works.
Mm-hmm. I'm still amazed every day at tapless pay, the contactless pay.
That
Bluetooth, it's magic. I don't know how.
That's not even Bluetooth. That's something else completely.
Together. That's crazy.
It is. So. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But yeah, it's crazy.
Excuse me. So this is one of our cooler stones. This is an example of something I didn't know about until I got it. I ran into it at a show, and the guys was like, "Have you seen this? Check it out." And there was a bit of a language barrier, so I had to come back home and I had to do a bunch of research to find out what this mineral is. And it's Nova Chekite. It's on gypsum, and it's found in a new location in Chihuahua, Mexico. And so if you want to see it, you can kind of get in close. You'll see it's like white, and then you might see some glitters of yellow until I pull out a UV light.
Oh, this one back here.
And that is with a great white light on top.
Yes, so in the dark, this is amazing. This is one of the UV flashlight is one of the best things I've gotten in a long time.
This is what you would use to cast fairy fire.
Ah, yes. Yes, it is.
They look like little fairy stars.
It's what I would use to do a lot of fairy magic.
I mean, yeah.
It's magical. It absolutely is.
Yes.
And you can't see it with just normal human eyes. That's how magical it is.
Amazing.
So I still have more research to do on it energetically. It's got some really interesting combinations of both being a high spiritual stone, but also having a nice grounding element to it.
Makes perfect sense.
Contain a little bit of uranium, but we tested it with a Geiger counter,
Makes sense.
so it's safe.
What's a little uranium between friends?
Exactly.
You know, it's organic. It's carbon based.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Uranium isn't exactly carbon based, but
But it is
The rest of the rock is.
There we go. It's a natural house.
and it doesn't have a higher radiation level than a normal living room would with all the electronics and stuff. So it is safe, but yes.
It's probably got less latent radiation than sunlight. Considering sunlight is radiation.
My pale skin.
Believe it or not, I have pale skin too.
You spend a lot of time outside though.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. We're about to check out the practitioner rooms. What are they generally used for? What's their...
So the goal is to get local practitioners kind of creating a community space where we can start to meet in person together, both clients and practitioners. So practitioners refers to tarot card readers, intuitives, crystal healing, energy work, and all those a million modalities that are out there.
Reiki.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so this space is so that they can rent out space and use space. Right now we have one set up in here as a tarot reading space.
All right.
This is one of our tarot readers. She's usually here on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but she's off with the holiday currently.
All right. Well,
But you
we
can
will
see.
be very careful not to bring disruptive energies into her space.
Well, and we clear space pretty often too, because we do get a lot of energies coming through.
Do you guys have a pretty steady source of sage?
We do have a pretty steady source. That's another thing to watch sourcing on. Places like, Walmart and Michael's and big box stores that have started carrying sage because it's trendy, you're going to be in risk of where you're getting it from.
Right.
Smaller shops like my own, we either work with companies that work directly with Indigenous folks who curate it, or people who grow it specifically for the sale in stores like ours.
Okay.
So places like, because sage has become something that's concerning and a potential closed practice for a lot of people, depending on who you talk to.
Right.
A lot of controversy around sage right now.
Understandable.
But any of the herbs that we bring in, it's because they have been specifically grown and curated for small shops like ours.
Okay.
They're not stealing from native land. They're not... in fact, most of the white sage that we carry is grown in California on large farms specifically for white sage. We also carry Palo Santo wood, which is grown specifically on a farm in Bali for the company we buy it from.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so it's one of those things to keep an eye on is sourcing.
Okay.
And we have a pretty consistent supply of it, but you'll oftentimes find ours runs out maybe sooner than one of the big box stores.
Because you're sourcing it ethically and responsibly.
And small batch. sourcing.
Small batch, which of course if you're
Yeah.
using sage for spiritual purposes, you don't really want big batch.
No, and oftentimes, like, if you're getting it from the big stores that buy thousands of bushels at a time, it's also going to be stale and kind of gross before you even get a chance to see it on the sales floor.
Yes.
Versus if you buy small batch, you're going to get more fresh product, which is important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Do you have, are any of the other rooms set
I have
up
another
for-
room set up,
All
yeah.
right.
So I've got one room that does have a massage table set up in it.
Okay.
That is back here. And ideally for hands-off body work is mainly what we deal with here. We don't do a whole lot of physical hands-on touching.
Of course.
We're gonna
That
do
makes a lot
mostly
of sense.
energetic work.
I would think that hands-on work would be a whole different insurance classification.
Yes. Yeah. And most people we work with are going to be subcontractors. So they're their own business that are using our space. So that instead of welcoming strangers into their home or
They're-
going to strangers' houses,
In a public third space.
yes, a public third space that's dedicated to
Right.
energetic work. So like you might have an office space in a big office building, but is the office next to you
Yeah.
the best energy or
chill
not?
there? And energy in a building does tend to leak through walls, no matter how thick.
For sure. So you also see we have this set up with our biomat too. This has tourmaline, black tourmaline, and jade discs.
Black tourmaline and jade discs.
So this is also an option, and it does have a way to, it plugs in and you heat it up, so it's like an infrared heat with crystals.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
It's relaxing. Although more heat right now doesn't sound.
Strategically applied heat to the right places sounds about right.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Okay, well this is wonderful. I think it is wonderful that you're providing space for this.
And then the idea with the classroom space is something similar too. You know, we saw at the Crystal Connection for years, we were meeting people who were either looking for clients. You know, a lot of the practitioners would come for supplies and need clients, or we'd be meeting the clients who were going, where do I go in town?
Who can I get to do this? And you're going, well, geez, you know, I just handed out the last business card for so-and-so.
Exactly. And there's so many people that I don't know yet myself.
Right.
And so creating a space where everybody can come to and really enjoy and be together and feel comfortable.
That is very nice.
So last month we hosted a meet and greet, which was for clients and practitioners alike. That went really well, and I'll be hosting another one coming up soon this month.
That sounds wonderful.
July. Yeah. Haven't got the date on the schedule just yet, but we've got an email list too to send out, and we put it on all of our social media.
Okay. Well, that sounds really awesome. That sounds like that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
2 more questions for you. What is something that you would like to bring to the attention of the community out there? What's something you would like to shine a spotlight on for a moment?
Oh gosh, there's so many great things to shine light on.
I love that you choose great things to shine light on and not negative things. That shows a lot of positivity in your personal perspective.
There's so much negative out there in the world.
There it is.
So I like to try to make this space one that isn't focused on that. So
wonderful.
Like, if you need a break from the crazy that is the rest of the world, come in here and we'll talk about, we'll talk about rocks and we'll talk about jewelry and we'll talk about D&D. We're all a bunch of nerds here too.
We love some D&D.
So,
okay then. What is your favorite stone?
Okay, so choosing a favorite stone is kind of like choosing a favorite kid. But I have my current list or my all-time that I'm always buying.
Okay.
So my top 3 are Moldavite, Labradorite, and
Love
Moonstone.
Labradorite. Love Moonstone.
So I'm really big into intuitive stones and transformational stones.
Okay.
That's my journey.
That tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And final question, something a bit more topical. How do you feel about the birth of the white buffalo?
The birth of the white buffalo. I have not heard about this yet.
Yes, a white buffalo was just born in the wild in Yellowstone.
Ooh, I have research to do.
Yes, yes, possibly.
That's immediately how I feel about it is, I need to look into this. There is
Well, I thought I might ask somebody who might have more information than me on it.
I don't have the information yet, but I need to get information.
Wow.
I'd love to know about that.
Okay.
I've been doing this for 20 years, and I still think that every day I am learning something new. I learn from customers learn from me, I learn from new practitioners, they learn from me. You can always learn more.
If you haven't learned something new in a day, you've had a very boring day.
Yes. Absolutely. Agreed. So now I'm going to go do some research on white buffaloes.
Well, all right. I think we are going to get some coffee and treats from the Witch's Kitchen.
A good thing to do at the end.
And then we'll say goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for now until we say goodbye a little later on. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for showing us around.
I'm so glad y'all came in today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are here at the Witch's Kitchen, and I'm going to be ordering some rose chai
And as I say, this is my own blend. It is an herbal blend with no caffeine.
That smells amazing. No caffeine.
No caffeine.
What is in it that you can tell us?
There is organic rose petals, cardamom, vanilla, fennel, and I forget what else. There's 2 other herbs in here that add to the flavor.
Okay.
But it makes for a nice, mild
Okay.
beverage. And this is my regular chai, which has both black and green.
Oh, wow, that smells amazing.
Star anise.
Star anise, that's what that,
They
yes.
both have star anise. And
I
this
love star
has
anise.
cinnamon, ginger, clove, and something else spicy that I never can remember. But lots of caffeine.
You know, I might even take a pinch of your regular in with the rose.
I can do that. They blend nicely together.
And how do you recommend taking it?
A little bit of honey and a little splash of cream,
Okay.
because the sweetness brings out the spices, and the cream just sort of mellows everything.
Okay. I believe that's how I will try it. I'm really not supposed to have the cream, but it seems like it would be worth the
Is it
experience.
Is it the milk or the cream that is a problem?
It's the cream. It's any dairy product.
Okay.
It's not just lactose. It's
So
it's all the parts of milk.
so we'll put heavy cream in
Okay.
because it's just butterfat.
That sounds perfect.
There we go.
All right.
And are you having a beverage too?
Can I have a small hot chai?
Yes. Absolutely.
So before we shut off the camera, may I get your name?
My name is Kay,
K.
K-A-E,
K-A-E.
also
Here at
known
the-
as the Kitchen Witch.
Also known as the Kitchen Witch. And you do catering as well?
I do. This is the Witch's Kitchen. I do catering under Saxon Bakery and Catering.
Saxon Baking and Catering. All right. And is there anything else that you would like to promote real quick?
Just that all of my baking is done with intention to give everybody the best of health. Not necessarily always organic, but it is good food, good for the soul.
And that sounds like some of the best magic possible.
It is.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy what you purchased today.
I'm sure I will. Hello, friends. Here we are at the gastrophilia portion of the on assignment, and we are going to try lemon-filled cookies, orange drops, and chocolate muffin, and a mix of rose chai and black chai, mostly rose, with honey and cream. If it doesn't outsmart me. Ha! I'm smarter than a cop. Oh, that smells amazing. And I can smell the notes of rose in the chai. Oh, I can taste the rose as well. That is... That's amazing. It's smooth. It's just a little sweet. Perfect. All right. Now, for one of these lemon-filled cookies, gluten-free, by the way. Both the cookies are gluten-free. Amazing. Amazing. The dough is a perfect consistency. It's crumbly and light and moist. And the lemon curd is amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Oh, wow. All right, and one of these orange drops. Clear the palate with a little bit of tea. Again, very moist and yet crumbly cookie consistency. Very orange. A very, very pleasant, subtle orange. It's not overpoweringly, but it is very there. And the icing is absolutely amazing as well. Oof, wow. I want to go back and destroy that, but also the astounding ASOC prod is politely waiting for me to finish so she can dig into hers. And finally, the chocolate muffin. The very chocolate muffin.
Chocolate monster muffin.
Chocolate monster muffin. Hey, how did they know the name of my next boyfriend? Oh, wow. Take a look in there. The chocolate chunks. That's not a muffin. That's a cupcake.
It's a muffin. This is how you feed sweets to children without showing their mothers. It's a muffin. It's good for you.
It's a muffin. It's good for you.
Exactly.
Well, very good.
Very good.
Well, friends, thank you for joining us. This has been absolutely wonderful. You'll get a glimpse of what I'm going to purchase on my way out here in a few moments. But for right now, I want to let Kat dig into the deliciousness in front of her. So, and I'm going to go ahead and say bye for now. I'm going to say bye now. That's how I do it. It's that way. It's not that way. That's a different one. It's that way. Thank you for joining us, friends. Remember to find something out there that you love, something that brings you joy, and really enjoy it. Take a moment to really savor life, because that's all we got. And be nice to each other. And as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down. BA double deuces. We're out, y'all. Bye.